when you're ready.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Hall,
Present.
Mr. Staples.
Present.
We also have from PMHV, our audit team. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Amanda Johnson.
Ed Musensky.
Jackie Davison.
Thank you.
You have a quorum.
Excellent. I'll turn it over to Ed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this morning, we just want to quickly go over the service agreement. The second page of the outline is the engagement team, which is the three of us. Page 3 basically is broken out between management's responsibility for these engagements and our responsibility. And management's responsibility are to prepare and fairly present the financial statements in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles, design and implement and maintain a system of internal control, implement a system to achieve compliance with applicable laws and regulations, selection of appropriate accounting principles, recording material audit adjustments, and confirming to us that the effects on any uncorrected amounts are not significant. Designing and implementing programs and controls to prevent and detect fraud. Assume management's responsibility relating to any tax services that we do. Evaluate that there are conditions or events considered in the aggregate that raise substantial doubt about the ability to continue as a going concern. And provide a letter confirming representations that were made during the audit. These are the same as they were last year. There's no new ones. A lot of these are outlined in the report opinions. And so they're basically unchanged. Our responsibility is to plan and perform an audit, to obtain sufficient understanding of the internal controls in order to determine the audit procedures. And it's not to provide assurance about the internal controls themselves. Evaluating the appropriateness of the accounting policies, including whether in our judgment there are conditions which we consider to raise substantial doubt, again, about the entity's going concern. That's a big thing in the last couple of years. Communicate our responsibility and relationships to the audit. Communicate to management and the audit committee in writing significant deficiencies, if any. There haven't been in the last number of years. Don't anticipate any now. Use professional judgment and professional skepticism throughout the audit and maintain our independence. The overall audit strategy continues to be pretty much the same as it has been in the previous years. We consider the prior year audit results. We consider the inherent risk within the agency before recognizing internal controls. We do a materiality threshold computation. We go through all of the new accounting and financial reporting standards and guidance, both for the FAS Financial Accounting Standards Board and the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. We look at the accounting policies and procedures of the agencies. Significant management judgments and accounting estimates. This is a new thing that they're cracking down on this year, is to be more intense on accounting estimates. I don't think that's a super big problem here. And also to be looking at the computer systems, internal controls, and also internal controls over the computer system. So the fortress are the various corporations, and these are the elements that may cause damage. And these are the things that we're looking at to make sure that they are prevented. So we have high risk audit areas and moderate and low risk audit areas. A high risk this year is the American Rescue Plan Act. It's a single audit. So we're going to have to get into that, look at, you received X number of dollars, the application is going to make sure it was for what it was supposed to be. et cetera, et cetera. And, both because it's the first year, and possibly the only year of this American Rescue Plan Act, it's automatically a high-risk area, so we will be concentrating that a little heavier than usual. Long-term receivables, again, the high risk of collectability, same with grants and related revenues, due from other governments, related party transactions, post-retirement, and pension liabilities, big item, and other significant unusual transactions. The ones that are kind of low to moderate, because we can get our hands around them almost on a daily basis. Cash equivalents, investments, other receivable property and equipment, accounts payable, long-term debt, payroll and related payroll expenses, and the net assets. Page 5 are the new accounting, as I said, we've been looking at the FASB and GASB accounting standards. Some of these aren't effective until 24, but we will be reviewing, under the FASB one, none of those are applicable this year to the IDAs. And we have to just take a look at a couple of them under the GASB, but I don't think anything that was issued this year will be applicable. The timeline is, so Gail's have been over here, meeting the audit. Do you want to talk about the status of where you're at?
Well, we're getting pretty close to wrapping up the fieldwork side. We do have to spend time with the ARPA funds, but that's probably the only area that we really have left to really look at. But other than that, everything else has been looked at and kind of evaluated, and we're gonna be moving into preparing the financial statements here in the next coming weeks.
What do you have,
Any problems or consistency?
As of right now, no, there's been no problems.
What do you have to do with ARPA? I mean, do you have to delve into how they actually spent it, or that it was just granted,
How it was actually spended.
spent,
Yeah.
okay.
They more or less, it gets a federal program number. And then they have a whole section in the supplemental compliance book at 2,800 page copy that comes out every year. And there's a section for that, and you have to go down through it, you have to check those attributes. There's 6 out of 12 attributes that we definitely have to check.
Do you get to test a few, or do you have to test them all?
We have to test 40% of what you guys expended. Because of you guys being high risk, it has to be at least
What is it?
40%.
40,
40.
yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. So 40% of all the grants.
And that's just high risk by government decision that it's a high risk area, not because
Yes.
we are, not because we're,
Oh, not because of you.
No, the government
This is.
I just wanted that clear.
Yeah,
Good point.
technically you guys are high risk only because this is your first year.
Here.
But after that you become low risk. But because the program itself, according to the government, is high risk.
High risk.
So, yeah. So you. Any other items?
No, I don't think so.
So on the very last page are the reporting entities and what we will do. So we'll have financial statements prepared in accordance with GAAP. Have required communication letters for all of them. Have financial statements in accordance with governmental auditing standards on all of them. And then we have 2 that will require Federal Form 990 and the New York State Char 500, and those are informational tax returns of the government. So those are all of this is proceeding down the rails.
Thank you.
That's what we hope to.
We hope more than you hope.
Accomplish, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any specific questions for Mr. Muzinski that would they'd like to pose?
I'd like to
Okay.
ask him the meaning of life, but I know that's got nothing to do with time, so, no, I'm fine.
any concerns you have, Kim, or?
No, we've got a few things we have to concentrate on as far as like, you know, your inter-entity things, as far as BDC, the IDA for the Newell. But we'll get through it. It's just a lot of details we've got to review and finalize, but no, everything's, I think, going how I expected.
Okay, good.
And you're getting the information you need, correct?
I think they've gotten
Yeah,
everything they
okay.
need.
That's,
PDFs make things amazing as far as getting, because for example, every ARPA transaction that we've done to date, we have packeted, scanned in. So it's all as a complete PDF. So if they call me and say, I need to see St. Lawrence County, ARPA, I can literally zap it to them. So that makes it very convenient.
do you know what PDF is?
I don't know what it stands for specifically.
Please,
Something file.
please don't find.
Something file. Okay, let me just take a note here. And then what we will do is we will have to move into executive session. Staff will leave. That'll give the audit committee time to speak to the auditors without staff involved. I do need to note that there will be no action taken after the executive session, so we will stop the live recording at this time.
Perfect.
Okay,
Good.
all right, so I need a motion